Hello. Cold day this morning. Hope you all are doing well. Hope you're enjoying the course. I wanted to make this video, perhaps the last video for the class, just to fine-tune some of the special things that we've been talking about, some of the tools, and some of the search strategies that we use in the library. So, okay, let's just for example, say that we were doing research on women who have been out of the workforce and for various reasons and are looking to get back, and trying to see what kind of programs are out there and available for them. All right. So we go to the library page, and as we know, the advanced search can be helpful in numerous ways, including helping us kind of conceptualize our search with the different boxes here. So obviously we want women to be a part of the search, but you can see here it's suggesting some other terms. So when we were talking about the Boolean operators, remember most of the time we're using AND, which brings terms together, i.e. it'll only show results that have both of those terms. But the other important Boolean operator, and the reason I was encouraging you to find broader and narrower terms for your key terms, this enables you to do one search where the computer will look for all these variations of this one word in one search. So if the record has women or female or woman or females, or all three, or I mean all or four, or two of them, they'll show up in your results. So you don't have to do 4 separate searches for these 4 different variations of the same keyword. Okay, but it's super important that all the ORs, all the words that are related, are all contained in the same box, so the computer doesn't get confused about to what terms they need to bring together with and which terms can be more fluid with or, which kind of expands our search. All right, so we want work. They're going back to the workforce. It's suggesting here workplace or workforce, or another option we can do here is called truncation. So if you put an asterisk here, this will bring up any document that has the word work in it, but also workplace, worker, workforce, any variation of that word, as long as the first 4 letters of the word are work. Okay, and then they're returning to work or re-entering. So we can put asterisks here too. So this will get returning, returner, re-enter, re-entering. And then here we want to add another box here for programs. And then we can see suggests some other kind of similar terms. So whether the author uses programs to describe what they're doing, or services, or both, we want to make sure that we see all those results that come up. Okay, so at this point we can do our search and cross our fingers, and yeah, we can see we got quite a few results here. First thing to note, as we know, it's very important to get recent information. So let's lop off all the older stuff and kind of just focus on the more recent articles. And so we still have a ton here. Another thing to note here are these fields, right? So it defaults to doing just whatever field. And the fields in this case have to do with the title, the author, the title of the article, the author of the article, the subject terms, the journal. So in this case, I think we want to make sure that let's see, that work and workforce is in the title. And then another thing we can do is limit other terms to the abstract. So we want to make sure that these terms are in the abstract of the article, i.e. the summary of the article. So that'll help us kind of break, and bring out from this large list of articles ones that are even more specifically related, because we have these certain terms that are either in the title or in the abstract, not just anywhere in the record. Okay, so you can see this brought our results down quite a bit. So hopefully, theoretically, these should be much more related to the topic at hand. And here, right off the bat, the first article, returning to work, women's lives. And then we can see, oh, what, this is a term, vocational rehabilitation. Maybe this is a term that could be really beneficial for our research. We hadn't really thought about that as a subject, as a keyword before, but now having done the research a little bit and found an article that looks like it could be useful for us, we can come and see in the abstract the summary, and here we have our keyword program and services in this case. And then these subject terms can also sometimes be really helpful for identifying the right keywords to really describe what we're doing. So we have reemployment, rehabilitation counseling, vocational rehabilitation. So these are all terms that have a lot of potential for us with this project that we hadn't even thought about right off the bat. And through doing this research, they have emerged. So we can go back and try some of those keywords and see if they get us even more relevant articles. And then if we scroll down even further, we can see this particular article came from the database PsycInfo. And so at this point, we might think, oh, well, maybe I really want to take a kind of psychological approach to this and really focus on women that have been out of the workforce because of different trauma that they've experienced. So at this point, we could keep going here with the Discover service, or we could go back to the library page, and now we know that one article came from PsycInfo. We want to kind of focus our research in the field of psychology. So we can go to the Databases tab, go to P, come down to PsycInfo, which is the main psychology indexing database. Oops. It's my computer. It's got some problems. Okay, so now we can recreate our search. And this time, since we have these new terms, we could try vocational rehabilitation, and then you can see it has some other ways to describe that, and these are all terms and phrases that that essentially mean the same thing, and then we can show trauma in here now that we've kind of decided that's really going to be a focus. So now we do our search. We get much fewer results. However, they're all coming from psychology sources, and we have some new key terms that can really help us focus our research. And here you can see it includes some dissertations, some books, but we might want to just focus on the academic journals. And so yeah, so that I just wanted to kind of go through that with you and show you the way that keywords can emerge from your research that might be even better than the ones that you set out searching in the first place. Okay, so I just want to also take one moment to talk about searching Google, searching the internet, quote unquote. So one thing that can be really valuable and is not very well known is the advanced Google search. You can just Google advanced Google search. And so here you get an interface that's a little bit more like the library databases. It's not quite the same, but it has some tools here that are really potentially really useful. And so regarding the Boolean operators, this is their version of and all the words. So every single word that you type here should be in the results. So that's and, right? This is one we haven't really talked about that much, but this is when you have a phrase such as vocational rehabilitation. So in this case, we want to make sure not only are both those words there, but they're both there in this particular order. So it's a way of ensuring that your results are focused on a phrase, especially if the two words are fairly common and could show up in different parts of a website that wouldn't really have anything to do with our main topic. So we can put our other keywords in here. And now another thing that you can do here, any of these words, this is Google's version of or. None of these words, this is Google's version of the Boolean operator not. Okay, and then another thing that's kind of unique here is the site or domain. So, if we don't specify that, inevitably we're going to get a lot of .com sites. And so in this case, since we're doing research, we might want to limit to either .gov or .edu. And by limiting to .gov or .edu as the domain, we are going to limit to only websites that are coming from official government sources or places. So only official government agencies can get a .gov, and only accredited colleges and universities can get a .edu domain. Anyone can get a .com, anyone can get a .org, and anyone can get a .net. So .gov and .edu are the only ones that are kind of restricted and potentially have some use for us. So once we've set that up, now we do our search, and you can see every one of our results is coming from a .gov domain. So we can be, as much as you trust the government, we can be a little bit more we can have a little bit more trust in the results that come up here. And some of these things may have been would have been buried many levels down in a regular Google search, but by using the advanced Google search, phrase searching, limiting by domain, we can bring these right up to the top and find some stuff that we might not have found, and find potentially more credible websites. All right. Well, thanks for watching this video. Hopefully, most of you stayed with it to the end, and hopefully this gave you something valuable for this class, and and any kind of information research that you're doing in the future. All right. Well, have a great day, and I look forward to getting your assignments. Okay. Thanks.